Well, before next year's Super Bowl, Las Vegas is hosting another massive sporting event, of course, the Formula One race.
Yeah, Fox 5's Andre has more on Vegas's role in the growth of the sport here in the U.S.
Vegas it's the sports capital of the world, it's the entertainment capital of the world, and that's where F1 wants to be.
Reaching speeds of 212 miles per hour, the Strip will be the center of the international racing world in November. Racing single-seater sports cars, for decades, Formula One has traveled to different countries and continents, building tracks on closed public roads, like we'll see here around the Strip later this year.
And it just seems that American interest is growing. And I think that it's kind of going from the point of view where you'd have to explain to your average American fan what F1 is, to now them saying, oh, I've watched Drive to Survive, or oh, I've heard it was in Las Vegas.
The Netflix show that gives a behind-the-scenes look at the sport and its personalities has helped kickstart the popularity in the U.S. And the United States will be the only country to host 3 F1 races during the 2023 season. American automakers like Ford and General Motors are getting into the Formula One space too.
So many American companies want to get into F1 one way or another, if it's sponsoring someone, setting up their own team, or working with an existing team.
Clark County has a 3-year contract with Formula One, but commissioners have agreed to the required road closures to hold the event in November for the next decade.
And it is my belief that their commitment to us is every bit as strong as our commitment to them.
Drew Andre, Fox 5 News, local, Las Vegas.
And November's Las Vegas Grand Prix is projected to rake in more than $1 billion into our local economy. That's twice as much money than next year's Super Bowl here is expected to generate. Wow. Just lets you know how massive that event is.